Yo! What's up, everybody? It's Superfly Fat Guy 859 coming at you again. And I'm coming at you with a list of movies that I thought people would like. I've noticed that when I tell people that I have a list of shit hits the fan movies, they normally want to know what's on the list. And actually, there's more than this, but this is a few that I have. And I decided to try my best to narrow it down to 10. There are a lot of really good movies that is shit hits the fan, preparedness kind of related, homesteading kind of related. I picked 10 that I feel are the best. Now, yours might differ. There are some that are not in here that I know people are going to give me grief about, and that's okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go in alphabetical order. This isn't, number 10 to number 1, and this one's the best one or whatever. These are all good, okay? So they're in no specific order at all. They're all just awesome. One thing I did, though, out of the list, I picked a lot that had different environments, different situations that were unique to the list, okay, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So the first one is All Is Lost with Robert Redford, and basically he's at sea with in his sailboat. He runs into a shipping container that was dropped off of a massive barge or whatever the shipping ships. Anyway, his boat gets a hole in it, and as we all know, it kind of goes downhill from there. But it's a shit hits the fan scenario because he's out on the ocean, and his boat goes down, and he has to live in a what is that called? A life raft. So again, that's pretty specific, but it's an awesome shit hits the fan situation. There's not a lot of talking it. Obviously, he's the only one there. There's no family or friends or nothing around him. He's the only one there, so there's no talking. So it might be boring to some people. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was a great movie. Next one, we all know about Castaway. The plane goes down, and he's lost on an island for I don't even know how many years, but it's a long time. And it's just about his coping with living on this island. Again, very specific, but it is a shit hits the fan situation. Excellent movie, as we all know, though. I don't know anybody that's watching this that hasn't seen it. The next one, Goodbye World. This was actually something that Hoss USMC did a video on. But anyway, it's a prepping video. It's a prepping movie. A little bit far-fetched kind of, and a little bit too dramatic and like uppity, and it's too much about the love triangles and shit like that. It's too much of that to me, but it does have a lot of very good prepping points in it. There is a part where these guys that claim to be military, but they have no they have no credentials, but they play as if they're military, and they try to take over, and there's also marauders and stuff like that. They go to a little store and they try to buy some stuff after this. I think the electric went out. I think the electricity went out. But they go to try to buy some extra stuff. Even though they have a lot of stuff prepared, they go to buy some extra stuff, and they find that the local biker gang has taken over the stores and stuff, and they're charging $100 for a roll of toilet paper, stuff like that. So it's actually a really good movie, but like I said, it's a little bit yuppie to a sense, and a little bit too much about a love triangle and the love drama going on, but a good movie nonetheless. The next one is Panic Room. This is an old movie, and some people might give me some grief about this because it's not all that great of a movie. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not fantastic. It's not epic or anything like that, but it is good. Basically a group of people break into this lady's home, and I think it's her and her daughter go into a panic room, and it's a home that I think they just recently bought, and the previous owner was a prepper, and he had this panic room put in for just this kind of situation. And they go in there, and they can't call out or something. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I saw the movie. But anyway, they have to survive in this room as these people try to get in. And it's a pretty good movie, but again, it's all based in one little area, and some people might not think it's action-packed enough or something like that, but I thought it was a decent movie. The next one is Red Dawn. Either one, the remake or the original with Patrick Swayze, it's up to you. I prefer the remake, but that's just me. I don't really like super old movies a whole lot. Even though they're good, I appreciate them, but I like the cinematics more of the newer movies. But Red Dawn, basically, I think the original plan was it was supposed to be China that drops down on this town in Washington State, I think. And apparently they do it all over the state or all over the country, but they drop down. But it wasn't China, but I can't remember. I think it was maybe the Russians or something. I can't remember who it was. Vietnam, maybe. But anyway, they fight to get their town back, and we all know the Wolverines. We all know that. But anyway, it's a shit hits the fan situation where your town's invaded. They get pushed out into the woods, up in the hills, and they have to survive, and it's all about survival. And then they start scavenging for guns and food and what they can. I think it was really cool that they hit up like an outdoors store that they knew the owner before they left. But I think that was in the original. But anyway, a super cool movie, Red Dawn. The next one is The Edge. This is an older movie. I think it was in the 90s. Anthony Hopkins and is it Anthony Hopkins? Yeah. And I can't remember the other dude's name though. Anyway, one of my absolute favorite scene from any movie ever is in The Edge. It don't have to do with prepping or anything. It's just the guy, Anthony Hopkins plays this guy that's like a genius. He knows everything. And there's a particular part towards the beginning of the movie where the leader, or not the leader, the guy that runs this lodge tries to stump him. And that's my favorite part of any movie. But anyway, The Edge, this guy, Anthony Hopkins, knows everything, but he doesn't have any experience. Kind of like what I said in a previous video of mine. Like, I watch YouTube videos and I learn that stuff, but I don't put it into practical use. And that's kind of where he was at. Well, they get broke down basically out in the woods, and I think they're in Alaska, and they have to survive. And he has all this knowledge, but now he has to implement it into a real life situation. And it's a really cool movie, super cool movie. One of my favorites for sure. The next one is The Road. The Road is, I don't remember what the situation was that caused the world or the country to just be incinerated, it looks like, but it was. And it's about this guy and I think his son. They try to go to the ocean to, I guess they think that there's a ship over there that's going to help them. I can't really remember, but the trip was amazing. And then they come across a bunker that I thought was awesome, and I would not have left that bunker at all. But an excellent, excellent movie, and it really shows, shit hits the fan. It really shows some stuff in there, and I thought that was awesome. The next one, probably not a lot of people have heard of. It's called The Snow Walker. And The Snow Walker is I want to say it's like old, like this guy, the plane he was flying looks like it was super old, so I'm guessing it was like supposed to be based, I don't know, 30 or 40 years ago. Anyway, it's a pilot in Alaska, and his plane goes down, and basically, I think it's an Inuit, I think that's what they're called, the Eskimo people. There's an Eskimo girl that basically helps him survive and teaches him everything he knows. And she was about to die herself, but it was like she had a reason to live, and she wanted to help him live. And it was really, really awesome. That's a really good one, too, if you haven't seen that. The next one is The Way Back. The Way Back I've talked about in my top 10 Netflix movies. Excellent, excellent movie, man. These captives basically escape this like prison, basically, and they go on this 4,000-mile trek to freedom, and it's pretty epic, man. They go through every harsh weather condition you can think of, and quite a few of them drop like flies. But man, the survival in that is just incredible. And last but not least is another one of those that it's an individual situation that again, it's like the Being Lost at Sea or The Panic Room, or something like that, and it's Wrecked. A little bit different thing. It's about, this guy wondering whether or not if he killed somebody or something. But anyway, this car goes over an embankment, and I don't know where they're at, but it looks like, Montana or Utah or Washington or something like that, where it's severely densely wooded, Oregon, something like that. And the car goes over, and I think he breaks his leg or something in the crash, and he has to survive. And it's a really good movie. I mean, there's some other aspects to it too that he's troubled with in his mind, but it's an excellent, excellent movie about survival. I wish there would have been more. Because throughout the whole movie, when I was watching, I was like, man, I would have used this part of the car for that, and this, and that, and I would have done this and done that, and I would have never got out of the car and stuff like that. So I wish there was more survival, but it's still a movie of survival. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much my top 10 shit hits the fan, my top 10 favorite shit hits the fan movies. I hope you liked them, and I know there's going to be some people that tell me that Jeremiah Johnson and some other ones like that should have been in there. And I agree with you, except I'm not a big fan of super old movies, like I told you. So Jeremiah Johnson is an amazing movie, but it's not in the top 10. So if you have any comments or questions, leave them down where? Down below. And everybody, take her easy.